Show me the back.
Yet, Mert.
Come on,
show you my
Here
back.
we are. Here we
I'll
are.
get my $5. Show me the back. Show me the back. I'll throw the money.
My
No.
God.
Show us the back. Show us the back.
Show us the back. While we're waiting for
Show us
people to
the back.
join, I'll show you the back. I have to take the headphones off.
Get a load of this, everyone. Oh my God. That is knife porn.
Yeah, it is.
That is knife porn. That is fucking knife porn.
Did you see it?
We saw it.
Yeah, fucking
We
grouse.
thought that was pretty sexy. Pretty sexy.
It is.
I don't blame you.
the-
I'm a fairly handsome man.
For the benefit of the fact that this might get put onto a podcast platform and the viewers won't be able to see what you just did, Corin is wearing one of our new Knife Making Down Under podcast hoodies with
Yes, he is.
the Mert Tansu Damascus knife on it, and it's pretty sexy. It's pretty sexy.
Oh,
I've
yeah.
never seen the
Wish
back
people
of-
could see. I wish
Oh, yeah.
people
I've
could
never
see the
seen
Corin
Corin turn around and
twerking
look
on
that
it.
sexy.
Yeah, Corin
What
was
was that?
twerking 5 minutes ago before the live stream started. I wish we could have taken a video of that.
But I'm so good at it, I'm twerking now.
He's twerking. He's hard at twerk.
I'm hard at twerk. Yeah. Nice
Well, it
hoodie.
looks like
it fucking grouse
kind
hoodie.
of looks like it kind of looks
That's
like
what
we've
we
got
do.
our
Oh, yeah.
regular crew on
Oh.
the listening front. Oh my God! Not only does he have the hoodie, he's got the t-shirt.
Mate, we've got merchandise. I
All I
don't wear a
can say-
4XL, Dino. I don't need a 4XL, Dino. I'm a 2XL. Enough.
With all you showing off that Knife Making Down Under podcast merch, I'm just so happy that we decided to drop the Y fronts.
I didn't. Here they are. Here.
It's in small print.
Yeah, that's my excuse.
It's cold tonight.
It's cold. All right, I think we should probably kick this bitch off, this baby off, because on account of, it started already. I have not done anything I promised to do, so I'll just fuck around a bit while you guys say something nice about people.
Well, what can we say that's nice about people other than we really appreciate everyone's support. Thank you, everyone, for chiming in to listen to us yet again on another Thursday night through this winter dreariness. Professional level.
I was thinking, I'll be
presenters has
smooth. I'll
disappeared.
just my move. Oh, fucking hell.
Now he's disappeared.
I don't know what happened, but that was a distinct
Oh,
improvement.
man.
Isn't it? What happened? What I miss?
Yeah, look. Wow, what can we say?
Did I have my
We try and bring. We're at least bringing a little bit of entertainment to people. Let's hope so.
Technology is not my forte, just in case people didn't notice it by now.
It used to be, but I walked away from it, and I'm very happy that I'm like continuing that walk further and further, sometimes backwards, sometimes sideways, but I'm walking. So what have you been up to for the last week, Mert?
Oh, man, what I've done. I was thinking to myself, I had a slow week. I didn't do much, but then I thought, oh, yeah, I forged some knives. I forged a sword. I heat treated a sword. I did some more bronze and brass casting. What else? Yeah, I had a busy week.
How'd you go? That bronze casting, the one that you posted, the last photo that you posted up on your social media, that looked really good.
Yeah, look, it's good, but what I didn't take into account was I bought one of those cross guards off internet, and I used that as my mold. But that cross guard was the final product. So if there was anything happening with the sand, or if there was any kind of bubbles and shit, it didn't give me any room. So I had like very limited material. So I ended up like taping the cross guard just to be able to make it thicker. And I did a couple more experiments today. So I think I'm going to get a thicker cross guard in terms of like I'm just going to get a more material so there's more room for mistake. With this one, the one I just shared the pictures of, it's really thin. Like if I push with my finger, some of the stuff is like about the bend. It's really thin. But hopefully it's just the experience. Not that it's just experience, man. Like you learn a new technique, you learn a new trick, At first, just like making knives, at first, it feels like shit. I'm going to forge a knife. How am I going to do it? But the more you do it, the more you have a go at it, you're learning, and it doesn't seem to become such a big deal.
Yeah. What's the how much bronze do you use in something that size? Well, given that you want to get it thicker and stuff.
Look, the crucible I have is quite small. I think in terms of diameter, it's about 40 million diameter internally and about 75 millimeters. I pretty much fill up with the bronze or brass. Brass seems to be better. Brass seems to be easier to work with. It flows nicer and it has a slightly lower melting temperature, but it has a little bit more nastier fumes. Yeah, bronze, I haven't had much success. Like bronze, whatever I cast comes out really nice, but it doesn't flow all the way through sometimes. With the brass, I don't have the same problem.
Yeah, righto. Yeah, that's cool. So what are you doing straight out of the furnace, and you're just gravity feeding that, or are you spinning it around your head, or centrifugal spin, or
No,
what?
I just so I got this box and I filled the box and I made like a little. I put my mold in there and I just pour it as soon as it comes temperature and I can look from the top of my furnace. It's molten. I turn my furnace off. I lift the lid, and I have my tongs and everything ready. So I just pour it in and hoping I'm not making any mess. But again,
Yep.
it's just experience. First time I was leaving top of my sandbox flat and I was pouring the brass and shit was flowing everywhere and you could smell like the fucking grass burning and shit. I'm like, oh, that doesn't make sense. And then I end up like making a little lip around it so all the brass stays in it and actually
Yep.
flows through. It's just learning and trial and error. First time I've
Yep.
done, it took me first time I've done in my charcoal forge. I made like a little charcoal furnace to melt it, and I used my crucible that I was going to use for woods. It took me 45 minutes just to melt it, and I had a problem.
Yeah.
Then all of
Wow.
a sudden, like, oh shit, I have a problem now. I have to start all over again. But with my new uh, gas gas furnace I built, it takes me 6 minutes to light the forge and then pour. 6 minutes.
Yeah.
The
We poured
longest,
some bronze at Corin's when we were doing the barrel knife when I was up at his place, and that's
yeah.
about the time it took, about 5 minutes to get it melted down.
But with the bronze, are you guys making any intricate shapes or is it just like
Nah,
round or?
just we were just pouring it into a cylinder to
Yeah, look,
make a
that's
cylinder.
that's easy. If you guys 1 second. So the cross guard I'm casting is quite intricate in shape. Like
Yeah.
obviously I drilled it, but this is quite intricate in shape. And if anything gets stuck, like if let's say I put this as a mold and took it out, and if any of the sand falls, let's say in here somewhere, all of a sudden you're taking this out and some of the arms are not present. Like it's one of them is short, the other one is long, and it
Yeah.
takes a lot of trial and error. So this is the first one I've done. Okay, usable, but obviously I'm gonna make a couple new ones, and also I'm trying to forge one straight from the steel with like
Oh,
hot cutting
okay.
and yeah. I started working on one and it came out okay. Like it was about to go well, but I realized one side I was too thin. I didn't even force it, but again, just like learning new techniques and doing something fun, man. Otherwise, I feel like last week's I burnt out. I lost a little bit of that interest in making knives, or a little bit of that passion, or whatever you call it. I just lost that little bit, and just want to do something else to get my mind out, and so I can feel recharged. And you know that feeling, like when you feel, yeah, what we do is fun, but when you go to the shed and you make the same thing, or you look at the order sheet, it just becomes a job.
Yep. Yep. Know
Oh
how
yeah.
that feels.
Because I won't ask you how your week was, but I also want you to run me through the bowie build, the Damascus bowie that you made.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the things which I was. It's about 11 inches long,
Yeah.
just under 2 inches wide, nearly a quarter-inch thick, forged. It's about 200 layers ladder pattern.
Pictures or did it happen?
So, well, I haven't etched it yet. I'm going to etch it tomorrow. Today was a day spent actually with a builder friend of mine around here, and we were building a new screen for out the front of the house, and kind of the same thing. I just needed a break. I was like, my mate was there, I had to do shit like painting stuff while before things went up. I had to paint timber, so I spent my day doing that. But I was thinking about that Bowie. It's a pretty cool knife, I've got to say. Like, I don't make much of that stuff, and it's going all right. Now, my dirty finger post that Mert liked, that was the little end cut that I did for the 45 when I was just going to forge that Bowie out. And I had that little end cut, and I was like, I hate wasting that shit. So I was like, I'm going to forge something. So I actually turned the power hammer and the press on and the roller on and turned this tiny piece of steel into a small piece of steel caping knife. And it actually turned out pretty cool. I like it.
Yeah, it's nice. It just looks like you etch your fingernail as well. Looks like
yeah, I've been fucking hand sanding. I've been hand sanding that fucking Bowie knife for like 4 hours. I mean, not that my fingers are much better.
Little soap and scrub goes a long way, mate.
Yeah, I know. I got to trim the nails to get the scrubbing brush under the fucking things.
Just grind it like Dumb and Dumber, like. Bzzz.
Oh yeah. Now,
yeah,
I'm going to give a mate of mine a little plug. Another small business, Base Soaps. Base Soaps do a really cool soap. The scrub soap with walnut husk shell shit instead of chemical stuff. It actually cleans your hands really well. So Base Soaps, go check him out online. Order his scrub soap, and you'll have hands that are cleaner than mine.
It's not just having
they won't tear apart.
Using it, Kev. It's using it.
Yeah, but they don't tear apart. Like I was using that fucking Solvo stuff, and no bad stuff to Solvo. It does a good job. But when you're washing your hands 10 times a day, that chemical shit just goes bad. It's not.
You
good.
You know what I use to clean my hands?
What's that?
Office
urine.
Office work.
One knife a fucking year.
One knife a year.
It's pick on Corin every night, Julianne. Don't worry, because they're just jealous.
It's not pick on Corin night. Corin always gets away from this really easy.
Julianne
never gets picked on. Because Corin has the controls. That's why Corin doesn't get picked on.
Oh, right. Is that what it was? I wondered why you were being exceptionally nice to me after we went live.
He can mute us. He can get rid of us. He can ban us altogether.
You're like, I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Oh, he's gone. Oh, bye-bye. How was your week, Corin?
I can even share a screen of my Blade magazine article, but that's okay.
Hashtag humble
go on.
Two
on.
episodes in a row. Come on,
I'll get to it. I'll get to it. No, 2 in a row. I've got to do 3, mate. Sorry, I've got to get. When you make one knife a year, mate, you've got to get all the mileage you can out of that baby.
Yeah. That's it.
How's that sword you're making, mate? It's got a wicked heat treat bend in it.
What happened there?
Yeah, what happened there?
That's a weird looking katana.
It's a weird looking katana, all right.
Bruh, katana is folded steel. It can cut a fucking sword in half, bruh.
Yeah, well, yeah. Of course, I've seen it on Highlander.
This one is a Turkish kılıç, early 16th century style, forged from a 1075. And the bend is what you call like the upsweep tip is normal. Thanks for pointing out, Corin.
That's all right.
And
I thought you must have zigged while it zagged or something like that.
No, it has a little bit hollow on the top and convex near the edge. And the tip is called as Yelman, so there's like a little false edge at the tip as well.
That tip area almost looks as good as my Bowie.
Or in Henning's words, Bowie.
Bowie.
What did you say last time? Booby. That was you. Did that one even go live?
Bowie.
Remember that?
Bowie.
Remember the booby? That was hilarious. I don't even think that episode made it to air, but anyway, never mind. was still one of the
No, it
funniest ones.
didn't. It didn't make it to air.
But saying that, now I made a sword. So what I'm going to do is, as soon as I make the handle, I'm going to drill a hole and I'm going to put a keychain, because per PayPal's policy, I'm not allowed to make weapons. But this is not a weapon. This is a keychain.
Ah,
Sweet.
well, you'll get away with that just fine.
Yeah.
I thought it
I'll
was
be like,
just a
oh,
Turkish.
this is my carving knife. I'll be doing apple cutting tests like, tick, 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 tick.
I
It's a
thought it
key-
was for some. Was it sukuklu? There's Turkish salami. I think that'd be perfect
Sucuk.
for it.
it's a
Sucuk,
tuna knife.
Yeah,
It's a tuna knife.
it's not a tuna knife.
Tuna knife.
It's probably a tuna.
Tuna comes in a can. Who needs a fucking knife
It's
for
not
it,
a
man? Come on.
tuna.
Well, would that cut a can? You
It's a
reckon?
can opener. It's a can opener.
Yeah,
We'll have
that's
to
a
give
can
you a
opener.
demonstration.
It's
Not a
a
weapon.
tuna comes in barrel. This is the original barrel knife.
Oh.
Speaking of barrel knives, Stan Stanley's asked a question for you, Corin.
Yeah, when did you become so
Come on, tell the story again. Tell the story again. Come
Yeah, come on.
on.
We haven't heard this one for what? Well,
Two
the listeners
episodes.
haven't heard it. The listeners haven't heard it for a week. We haven't heard it
Yeah.
for 7 minutes since the last fucking post.
I reckon
He gave
Stan
us.
Stanley should just go and read the article in Blade magazine. It's at the back page. It's on the front cover. So you just get Blade magazine this month. You get all the lowdown, because these guys are just going to pick on me because
Well,
on account of
maybe if Stan
not in Blade
Stanley saw
magazine.
maybe if Stan Stanley saw a screen dump of what the story looks like, he might be better informed, Corin.
Yeah,
I
I
know
just
that's
couldn't
not going to
bother
be
looking for it. I couldn't be bothered.
I'm
So
not-
keep
Or we
looking
can have
at
a
it.
section.
couldn't be bothered.
I'll go and find it.
The
We can have a
fame is
section
getting
saying
to him.
previously on knife making down under, and we'll have Corin's entire spiel there.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Well, you got to just accept the fact that it's the way I roll, Mert. It's the way I roll.
I know, man.
Can't help it.
So screw the fucking barrel knife junk, because we know enough about that now to be experts at it. But what time period did that sword that you're making, Mert? What time period did that originate, roughly?
So this is
I'll just leave that there
early
for the rest of the
16th
episode. So
century.
people can read it.
So
Yeah.
Kev, I don't know if you can see it, but so this has a nice curve, but it's not as curvy as the later models. So early 14th, 15th century, Turkish swords were a little bit straight. They weren't as curvy as this, and they start curving a little bit. But once Ottoman Empire started getting into the Egypt and all that, the sword types became more like a really long and thin, slender shamshir, and it started going back to this style in the late 18th century and start curving a bit more and start getting shorter. So these ones actually have an octagonal handle, believe it or not, but most of the original handles in these swords are gone. It's been replaced with the 17th, 18th century handle. So if you look at it, sword has this shape, but the handle is a lot more modern. So I'm going to try to keep it as original as I can. But saying that, this is just a practice sword for me. So I'm not expecting much. I just want to do some cutting tests, and I want to make sure it fits the historical proportions and the weight. So with the handle or with the hilt, it's going to be around 800 grams, I think.
Yeah,
and
right.
For an 82 centimeter sword, that's a good weight. That's a easily wheeled weight. It's thin, but it's not like flimsy.
Yeah.
I will say I got many more kitchen knives. They have a thicker spine than this. The spine on this one is like 4.5 mil near the handle.
Yeah, right.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's good. So how long did it take you to grind once you finish heat treating?
What I've done was I trying to grind as much as I can prior to heat treatment. And once the heat treatment was done, I had a small couple bands. I fixed it, and then grinding wasn't much of a big deal because most of the grinding was done prior to heat treatment.
Oh, it's supposed to be bent, Mert. Check it out. I found a picture of one.
No, that's Shamshir.
Oh. What's yours?
Shamshir. That's a type Kilij. Kilij.
There you go. I didn't even know that was even a word.
So look at the third one. Oh, sorry, fourth one. Yeah.
So that dude on Forged in Fire, will he say it will kill?
I bought a big piece of fucking brisket. I'm about to chop in half and I'm gonna make a video. It will kill.
You better make fucking shit for us too.
Arming sword. That's not arming sword.
Oh, whatever. Salami sword.
No, that's a mole ninja stuff. That shit is not proper.
Anyway, people can't see the pictures unless they're live on Knife Making Down Under group. You can watch us every night. Your mouse clicks are loud as fuck. Oh, that was a private message. Sorry.
It's all right. Fucking, they're just like you're hammering us. Fucking can't hear anything else when you're fucking smacking that fucking mouse button.
Well, there you go. That's because I'm angry.
Yeah,
you're getting
he
angry.
Sounds like he's about to write a strong-worded email to a fellow work colleague or something like angry types.
Yeah, he's writing out telling Tim Ford, "Do your job, Timmy. Do your job."
Timmy did a good job today. He bagged up all the shirts. I can fold 2 shirts and get them all ready to go in a bag in the time it takes him to put a bag in a bag and staple them. But I guess that's just years of experience, eh?
Oh, as long as he's learning the skills, mate, that's all that matters.
But I sat him down,
gave him come in handy.
Gave him a glass of milk. He's all right.
You said he's experienced at bagging. Is that what he said?
He bagged shirts. He's a bagging shirts. That's what he was doing.
All right. Yeah, sorry.
Bilbo bagging shirts. Now, guys, we have to be very polite for a few minutes at least because Julianne's mum is listening. Hello, Julianne's mum. Welcome aboard.
My mum is listening. G'day, Julianne. Sorry, Julianne's mum.
We tend to get a little bit of profanity flowing.
Let's keep it clean for 5 minutes. Let's just keep it clean for 5 minutes.
We're the F-bomb kings.
Let's go out. I'll mute my mic and we'll go from there.
We'll just go on. We'll go on meme for a while. That.
Yeah, mimes.
Mimes. That's what I mean, not memes.
Memes is the term that the kiddies use.
But Timmy's mummy folds his cloths. Timmy's a good boy. Now, Mert, let's get on to another thing because I saw your social media. I was paying attention today while I was bludging when I was supposed to be helping my builder friends build this thing. I want you to do a quick review on the Rhino Wet sticky tape back sandpaper and its benefits to the users.
Okay, so Corinne kindly sent us a few rolls of them for us to test, and for some reason I totally forgot that I had them, and then I saw them in the corner of the thing like, oh shit, I meant to test these. Because if you guys know the way I sand this, I got a big stick and I get like the offcuts of my Rhino Wet and I trying to trim with my hands and trying to fold and shit. And I saw this. I had one of those Eureka moments, or it was more like a, you fucking dickhead, you had this for months. Why didn't you use it, month? Yeah, why didn't you use it, moment? So it sticks up easy and it comes in the lower grits. So if you're thinking about like starting from start to finish, it only goes up to 600 to my knowledge. Is that correct, Corin?
I have no idea. I've not used the stuff I got myself.
Okay,
neither have I.
the ones I had were like 104, 180, 240, 320, 400, 600 grid. So
there you go.
They are great for establishing your. If there is a higher grid, okay, I might be wrong. Don't quote me on it. But if there's a higher grid, go ahead. You can do the whole finishing with that. But they're easy to use and they stick easily, and they just cut like a regular Rhino Wet, if not even better.
There you go. Something for us to try.
Yeah, I've still got my packet there.
I was like real dumbfounded. I said, how come I didn't fucking use these for so long? I had them here.
I don't know. We gave them to you to try and give them a boost and maybe sell some. They've just sat there forever. None of us have tried it. But anyway, look anyway,
what
it's
I
good
can
to
tell
know
you,
that it works.
what I can tell you is that they are still a very stable product after months of being stored in a plastic bag in a drawer.
Yeah.
They haven't. That was the first destruction
Shelf life
testing.
is good. Shelf life is good.
Shelf life is awesome.
Just a second.
Well,
I've got David Grove saying, "Where is my poster?" which he won the other week, and I sent to New Zealand. I'll be a little bit upset if it went to New Zealand and it really didn't get to you, Dave. So if it didn't get to you, can you just send me a message and I'll get that sorted out?
No, it'll get there. It's going to take about 12 weeks.
No, I shipped it fucking weeks ago. We did it on the first
I
live
had something
stream.
came from US 78 days. My
Yeah,
stamp
no.
from US
Yeah.
78 days.
This one went on our pallet. It got there. I know it got there.
Yeah, I sent a knife to Victoria and it took 27 days.
27 days?
27 days I was spewing. I thought I'd fucking lost it. And I don't care what anyone says about Insured Post or anything, but you try and do a claim, Insured Australia Post item of a knife, and the amount of paperwork you have to fill out, hardly worth it in my view anyway. Like, I've tried to do a claim on the previous thing. Yeah, I'm with you, man. What a pain in the ass.
It is.
Yes, it is.
Hey, Corin. So what other sharp things have come close to interesting you as much as your barrel knives do now?
Our wit.
Scandinavian knives. And our wit, yeah, of course. Of course, yeah. Kev's wit. Yeah.
That's so sharp.
All Scandinavian knives. That's where I really got interested. So there you go. Anyway, keep going. How thin did you go on the sword prior to heat treating, Mert? There's a question from Sean Gibbo Gibson.
Sean, so the spine, as I said, it was like a 5 mil. It came down to 4.5. But in terms of the edge, I was down to probably 2 mil. And yeah, I didn't want to go any thinner than 2 mil, but my idea was to get as close as I can. So once I start doing the grinding, I didn't want to be touching over like the face of the blade. I just want to cut down the angle so it sharpens the edge. That's what I want to do. And yeah, basically I just went with the hollow grind on top, 120, cleaned up and went a little bit with the edge, and that's it. 2 mil was enough thickness. Didn't go too crazy.
Fair enough. Fair enough. There you go. Well, that one's answered. Here's one for you too. Stan Stanley asks, what are your favourite knives, Kev and Mert? Not ones that you make, but would like to make. Well, I can answer that for you. They'd like to make barrel knives because barrel knives.
I'd like to finish a barrel knife.
Don't you already have one in works, Kev?
I got two in the works. Actually, to be honest with you, I do have a double-bladed barrel knife that I finished
in a weekend.
The tuition, in 2 days under the tuition and guidance of Thomas Gurner. I have a finished barrel knife, but it was a lot of work in a very small amount of time, and the differences that Corin does in his processes, I think, adding that little bit of a modern flair are pretty good. But Stan Stanley, I tell you what, I have started making a few and haven't quite finished one. Liner lock folders. Liner lock folders are something that I'm looking at, and I've got about 4 on the go. They were very close to getting done before I ruined my thumb, and my thumb is still not quite fully there in its dexterity and feelings. And when you're using size 172 thread screws, it's a real pain in the ass when you can't have that dexterous feeling in your thumb. So something I really like and what I'm going to get into are the liner locks, Rick Dunkley style. Rick Dunkley is a master smith over in the US. He's a member of the Knife Art Invitational, I think it is, over there. Crazy good folding knife builder, and I learnt my first liner lock folder at Rick Dunkley's place, and then I learnt another time around with Bill Burke And it's just something that I've got sitting there that I want to get into. So that's for me. That's what I'd like to be making. Mert?
So it's funny when I was looking into ABS and the Master Smiths and all that, and I saw the Cullion dagger, and I said,
Oh, yeah.
"Fuck, man, that's so difficult. I don't ever see myself doing it." I'm like, "Fuck, this is too much. Fuck it, too much." Then I saw Kevin Cashin doing a course, and I ended up signing up to course along with Cord and another couple of knife maker friends of mine. And I was like, man, this is fun. And then I start Googling images of those Cullion daggers. I fucking love them. I fucking love those daggers. And I have no use for dagger, but I really want to make one Cullion dagger. Really want to make one.
The
Actually,
Shagger dagger.
Shagger dagger. I actually have a dagger on order, which I'm waiting for the permit to pass. And yeah, it'll be a Cullion dagger for me, and obviously Turkish style swords. That's something I want to do more, or actually I want to get into.
Yeah, nice.
Beauty.
What
Plus
about you,
my
Corey?
big bowies. Plus the big bowies. I like making the big bowies. I don't make many of them. I've made 2 in the last few weeks, but I don't make many of them. But I like those knives. I think they're
They
pretty
both
good.
look fucking great. I don't know why you don't make many of them. You make great hunters.
Make one a
Well, I'm
year, you get
starting
more
to.
recognition.
That's it. Shit, I've ruined it already. I'm on to my second. Fuck it. Next year. All right, next year I'm going to make one bowie, bowie, whichever you want to call it.
Bowie.
Booby.
So Carlos has asked a question: will 1084 patina as much as 1075?
In any
Can
respect
I just
whatsoever.
no?
Yeah, go for
Can
it.
I interrupt a moment here, Carlos? Check your fucking messages, mate. I already messaged you the answer to this. I did, or did not press send.
In every respect, you're never going to tell the difference between 1084 and 1075.
No,
In every respect, you're never going to tell the difference.
no, that's it.
With
And in terms of the patina and stuff, the same.
Everything's the same.
Yeah.
Barry Kennedy says Klingspor and Sear Speed make high grits in PSA sandpaper. We're a Klingspor agent, but just doesn't seem to be a lot of demand for PSA stuff. So the Rhino Wet stuff's been very, very slow mover.
What is PSA?
Apparently,
PSA?
pressure sensitive adhesive.
Yeah, right.
But there's a good one. Is the sticky
Jamie.
side of Rhino Wet good for waxing your back? Jamie, it's not as good
your
on
back.
your back.
Not your back.
Your balls and your crack tops, right? It's just got that sort of rigidity about it that just makes it really good for that. But for your back, no, not much chop at all.
And how appropriate is it? How appropriate is it that you put that question up just as Julie says we're safe to F-bomb again because the mum stopped listening and they were talking about Jamie using it to PSA sandpaper to wax his back and crack and sack.
Back sack and crack, yeah. Have you guys used Say What sandpaper? Thoughts?
Say what?
Say what?
Say what?
Say what?
No. I use Rhino Wet.
Thoughts?
Really.
My thoughts are, what the fuck is Say What sandpaper?
So yeah,
I haven't used it.
Yeah, pretty much. Dave Grove says the poster's not there. No, it shouldn't be expected, mate, because we said we pay premium to get our stock there for our gas equipment, and your poster was on a pallet. Just contact Kerry and ask her if it's there. We'll sort that out offline. Sorry.
Come on, Dave. Get onto it, mate.
I sent a bottle of whiskey from Sydney to the ACT, and it took 2 weeks. Yeah, well, 2 weeks is nothing. I'm still fucking waiting for mine, Matt Snape.
Bring one down, Matt. When you come down for that course with me, bring another bottle down. Hand it over to me, and I promise it'll get to Corin. It might be filled with tea.
Peter Roberts says, "Hey Mert, is it true that polished kitchen knives will grip food more than Matt style knives? Thanks. Take 2."
That's correct. There's a fine balance between making it finish well versus making it like I want to be so fucking shiny I can see all the wrinkles on my face. So the more finished it is, it's more sticky. And when it comes out straight from the grinder, like a lot of the people test the knives instead of the grinder, it cuts great and like, oh fuck, it's good and cuts so well and nothing sticks. And by the time you go to hand sanding, it's like a potato magnet. So there's a balance. I tend to I tend to not go over 1200 anymore. I used to go like 1500, 2500 and make shit mirror, but yeah, as long as your finish is good, I think around 1000 grit, you should call it quits. If you get a good 1000 grit, you should call it quits. You should say that's yeah, just happy with that.
I just want to put in here, Carlos. I just press send. From 11:23 this morning.
Professional to the end. Professional to the end. You can't beat it.
It's not just professional on the podcast. It's professional all the time. We can't say.
Andrew Smith says, as Corin used the moorers or axes he got over in Scandinavia last year, are you still bushcrafting at all? As a matter of fact, I've got a 3-day bushcraft trip coming up in July, midwinter one. So yes, but the moorers that I bought and the axes that I bought were mainly gifts, so I haven't used them. I did give them away. There you go.
Sorry, guys.
Oh, come on, man. You're making me look professional.
So Dave Winch says he's going to help you with liner locks.
Oh yeah, no worries. I've got a pretty good process there. Like I said, Rick Dunkley's one of the best going round. I've just got to get the time and get the body working properly, like not have the injuries that, you know, it's using those fiddly friggin' little screws and shit. And yeah, I'm using screw sizes from the guys that I was in the US with. But you know, that's what I got when I was over there. So I've got plenty of stuff. I've got to get the time. I've got to get away from making knives for people and make some for myself. I was told the other day, someone said, one of my customers said, how many knives have you made for yourself? What knives have you made for yourself? And I went, none. I sell everything that I make. And he's like, make one for yourself. There's nothing more attractive than a knife that's not available. So I'm like, all right, well, I might have to finish one of my liner locks and say it's not for sale and see what happens. People will probably just go, yeah, fair enough, mate. It's not for sale then.
So for those that don't know, Dave's a liner lock maker in Sydney. He's been making for well over 20 years, I would think. I'm sure he'll correct me in the comments, but he's been around a very long time. And he makes a lot of G10 handled liner locks, basically, all different style blades.
He posted a fixed blade and a liner lock up recently on our group, yeah?
Yeah, that's right, he did. That's right. I seen it because he came in the other day.
I'm not brushing you. I will probably actually hit you up for some info at some stage, and you're close enough to hit up and maybe have a visit one day when I get the time. Come and rack your brain for stuff. Use bits that are big enough for me thumbs to feel, or use just my left hand.
We got in Chicago screws for the first time today. They are sexy motherfuckers. Big ass Chicago screws.
Oh,
so
yeah.
You can make takedown handles and stuff with Torx. Like, they're awesome. They're awesome. They'll go on the website in about a month the way we could do things. But anyway, they'll probably be sold by then. Everyone will get on it.
Barry's just put something up, which is a pretty cool idea. If and when we can get to the US next time, keep your eyes out for one of the Rick Dunkley and Bill Burke Forge to Folder classes, where you make your Damascus over a few days, and then you go and do the liner lock class, and you use that Damascus that you've made to make the liner lock folders. And Barry was over there and did that course, and it's pretty fucking cool, I've got to say. Like, some of the stuff that's coming out of those guys for their first times ever is just freaking amazing. Keep waiting, Corin. Yeah, well, Corin's going to have to wait a little while longer.
What about die maker stones versus sandpaper from Mark Barrett? I've used die maker stones for the last 10 years and I love them. Wouldn't change. I use sandpaper on the disc grinder, sandpaper for finishing curved surfaces, but anything flat, I use stones. Die maker stones. And I love them. Yeah, they really, They're really. You've seen them, Kev. You've used my stones, haven't you?
Yep.
Yeah.
I use the Ross Arnold stuff, and I use your the stones that set of stones I bought from you.
Mm.
And I finally sort of listened to Cole about how to use them, and I love those for the plunge lines. Like my plunge line grinding is getting better at the moment, so I don't have to spend that much time on there. But if you want to spend less time on there, those little stones, man, they just devour those scratches inside the plunge lines. They come up great.
If you get a ceramic belt, you can just grind them to shape as well, to shape the shape of your plunge line. So yeah, they're mad. I love them. And as they wear, which they break down and wear, then all you got to do is just chuck them on a ceramic belt and give them a dress.
Yeah, use them the same way.
Give them a shot.
What was that?
Would love to give them a try. Sounds interesting.
Yeah, they're pretty good. I ummed and ahed about it for a long time, and then I hit Cole up and was like, "Are they really worth it?" And he spoke, well, if you've seen Cole Barrett talk about these stones, he just doesn't fucking shut up about them. But they are bloody good things to use.
Yeah.
I just tend to use. I'm still that old school thing, even with those Ross Arnold diamond stones and stuff like that, getting things flat. I use the lower grits to get things flat and shaped properly. Same with those stones, but then I tend to go up to the higher grits with a rhino. And it's
the higher grits are better for paper.
Yeah, that's just a preference with me as well. But when you're talking, Mert, about that, the question before about the food sticking to a higher polished knife than not, when I was hand sanding that 10-inch Bowie or 11-inch Bowie, whatever it is, it was funny because I was just thinking about that very thing, because I was diagonally sanding 320 grit across that blade, and then when I started the 600 grit and I was wiping off the cutting fluid that I use, it was amazing the difference. Like you pull your finger along that 600 and it's like sticking to it. Then you hit that 320 diagonal and it just slides off. And it's exactly what you were saying. The higher polish, the absolute better your grinding has to be, because otherwise, or your geometry, sorry, because that shit sticks to fucking, it's just like shit in a blanket.
When I went to buy my stones from Kemet, which is a company that specialises in that sort of thing. And like we sell them now, but they are very, very expensive. And I've gone there and I've pulled this knife out, unwrapped it and shown him. He goes, "Oh yeah, that's a terrible polish. You'll need to do this." And I was so proud. I was crushed. I was like, "What? What?" But then when he pointed it out, you're like, "Oh, okay, that doesn't need to be there." That's like when they're polishing a die for like making the plastic cover for a Panadol packet, for example. So you've got multiple little divots there that the plastic gets extruded into. It has to be mirror polished, or else the plastic takes on the imperfections. So, yeah, those guys, they really know their shit. They know how to do it. You know, they don't work in big flat surfaces. They work in impressions. You know, sunk dies. Anyway, that makes sense.
Yeah. Carlos asked a question up a bit ahead. I was looking at Carlos, one of the posts he made on his Facebook regarding the coronavirus madness that's reoccurring. And by madness, I don't mean the actual people getting sick or anything else like that, deployment of troops in Victoria, nothing like that. I'm talking about the fact that Carlos went shopping and the toilet paper shelves are fucking empty again. Can you fucking believe that?
Yeah, so my wife said to me, the toilet paper shelves are fucking empty.
Carlos has asked, is Rhino Wet good for wiping your bum?
15 grit? It's okay.
Look, in this day and age, we should be using reusable. And as Kev once told us, plastic spoon and a Chuck's wipe, it's good enough for me.
That's it.
Good enough for Kev. It's good enough for me.
I'm thinking of doing a limited. I was talking to Carlos when he was asking that thing. I was talking to Carlos. We should do a limited run of Ringigi reusable scrapers.
This is mine.
Yeah, the witch's broom.
Yeah, it's got an old.
I just like spit my legs and
broom.
Get in there, get in there.
Give it a fucking scrub.
All right. You know what that reminds me of, Mert? It'd be like wiping borax off a fucking Damascus billet.
So, I've got a
Yes.
question for the listeners for the comment section, guys. We'll get your comments in there. Let's have a go. Who currently holds the record? I can't answer this question except I'm fairly sure. So I'm interested to know if any of you guys know who currently holds the record for the most expensive custom knife, sword, bladed edgeware sold in Australia, or sold by an Australian, not necessarily in Australia. How much was it sold for? And what year? Yeah,
I
you
know
guys
the
just
answer.
have a think about that. You guys just have a little think
$1
about
million.
Dino says R.W. Loveless. R.W. Loveless was in California, Tiger. So probably not. Dino says 45,000. Dav Wench says PM. Dav Wench is on the money.
Yeah.
Does anyone know? 45,000 from Dino, but he reckons it was Loveless, who wasn't Australian. So
Yeah, Dino, come on, man.
come on, dude.
An Australian
No,
maker.
no love for you right there. No love for you.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
love less for you, mate.
That
Speaking
joke
of Speaking of R.W. Loveless, there's a picture of R.W. Loveless with Australian custom knife maker George Lee Sy in California. There you go, little rare picture. That's from the book
right.
George Lee Sy by the late Keith Spencer, which I just managed to secure a copy of. Woo! Very hard to get this book. Big book. His grandson's making now. Is Jason
So it's going to
Ellard's
be easier
new
to get
Dragon
then.
Breath kitchen knife. If not, it should be.
Oh,
Yeah, no,
bullshit.
you're a long way behind in terms of dollar value.
What was the
Yeah.
answer?
Guys,
What did he say?
Jason Ellard's Dragon's Breath knife. Someone's guessing a gold inlay Glen Waters folder. I've held a $15,000
We've held those, haven't we? Yeah.
We have,
Yeah.
and no, it's not. No, it's much more.
They
Now.
were only 10,000 US.
Yeah, so they were pretty cheap. This one went
They were
significantly
very
higher.
Peasant.
I don't have
So
the
keep
exact
having a
figure,
guess.
but it has been discussed with me many times, and plenty of people have seen the article. Obviously, if you go up, Dave Winch has, because he's put the initials of the guy up there. And yeah, I was going to sort of do a history reading tonight, but I'm not really sure what we're going to do. What do we want to hear about? Does anyone want to hear that? Is there anything in the comments section?
We do want to hear some history because history's good.
The 216th knife made by George Lee Sy was a 440C medium skinner burgundy micarta with nickel silver bolsters. It was marked with his signature and it was sold to Mr. L. Cook in 1981. There you go.
Yeah, right.
What's going on with Corin's facial hair? Did I miss something? Did we already discuss this?
No discussing.
Well, I don't fucking know.
It's
It's normal.
Who
Jeez, I'm a
knows?
little bit self-conscious now. Yeah, I'll sort that. All right, so what are we going to do then? All right, so if I do a bit of a book review, George Lee Sy, this is from Keith Spencer. You'll be blown away if you can get a copy of it. It's hard to get.
Yeah.
I actually got it through his widow, but anyway, I secured a new copy. Happy days. So he started making in 1972, and the thing that I really appreciate about this is that he's kept a detailed account of every knife he's made, how he marked it, what it was made from, who it was sold to, the year it was made, the date it was finished. Every knife, just lists and lists and lists of all his knives, where they went. So, you know, if you're a collector and you secure one of his knives, you can look it up. Oh, originally this went to such and such. You know what I mean? Like, wow, wonder where they are now. But you can see George was a pretty good maker, and he's a good maker particularly for the time. And there's lots of info in this book about how to make knives, basically. So that's pretty much I haven't really read it much, but that was my take in a nutshell. George Lee Sy, Australian knife maker. Basically the first big-time Australian knife maker. I can read a bit out of that.
Yeah, and he's not, just for the record, he's not the person with the record sales figure.
No.
No.
Right. Does it say where the biggest power hammer made in Australia was? Can you get a hum on a stainless blade? Well, if it's normal people, no. But Mert, he's got the skills. Mert's doing hum on some stainless.
Stainless is close to impossible, but I heard somebody got one with the D2. But fuck, it's just get a W2.
Or 52 and 100, right? So
Yeah,
that's
you can.
another book. Edge Master, we've talked about that. I can read something out of that one.
As a 52-100 ham-on, as per the advice of Mert, that was never actually aired because we didn't put that episode up for the listeners.
Oh, that's right. He told us all how to do it.
Yep.
Yeah, and we lost the episode.
The one I said, like the one with the Sharpie or the nail polish. Which one was it?
I thought it was the Etchmascus.
No, differential etching.
Because you were asking me about it. You said, Kev, now that you've got a laser, you should be able to put a hum on all of your 52-100 knives.
Oh, you're such a shit story, Kev. You know that.
No.
I think Paul Canone's John Canone's brother. I think he lives up in Costa now. Yeah. Anyway, that's Australian Custom Knife Makers, second edition. I've got the first edition there. Look at that.
Flick through to a page with a maker and tell us a bit of history about Australian knife making.
John Jones. How about John Jones? John Jones was apparently an extremely gifted knife maker, as well as, and I'm not reading this, as well as very generous with his information. So I heard just recently. Okay, let's read about John Jones.
Sounds like a good bloke.
His maker's mark was Jones Custom, and he made knives primarily out of 440C. So says the editor of Knives Illustrated. He's been in Knives Illustrated. I'll have to get in that. I've only been in Blade Magazine. Spring 1990 edition. In connection with the California Custom Knife Show held at Anaheim in the USA late last year, I know of at least one individual who has viewed copies of Knives Illustrated but had never attended a custom knife show prior to being invited to the Anaheim gathering. After a couple of hours, here's what he had to say. These people aren't making knives, they're creating works of art. What does an American knife show have to do with us? Just this. Amid those works of art was featured the works of John Jones, an Aussie taking on some of the world's best makers and doing very well for himself sales-wise. And even better than that, he became one of the 8 award winners of the show, exhibiting the best miniature. Well done, John. The Australian Knife Makers Guild is proud of your achievement. Whilst he is not the first to show and sell Australian-made knives at shows in the USA, he is rapidly gaining recognition on the American show circuit, having sold 16 knives at the Knoxville Blade Show during a previous trip and taking orders for several others. It goes to prove that top Australian makers, of which John Jones is one, can compete favourably at venues where quality custom knives are displayed. He rates as one of the most prolific part-time knife makers in the nation and among the most versatile as well, since he produces everything from miniatures to swords and a variety of pocket and belt folders in addition. As if that's not enough, he has diligently developed skills of adornment, including the daunting task of scrimshaw and engraving. Says John, thanks to a very understanding wife, I am able to spend about 30 hours per week in the workshop. What do they say? Behind every knife maker is an understanding wife. An electrician by trade, he made his first knife in 1964 when he commenced an apprenticeship, although it was not until 1986 that he began making in earnest to produce a marketable product. One job he doesn't perform is the heat treatment process, preferring to have professionally tended to by Precision Tool Engineering in Brisbane, who hardened his blades to 59 Rockwell. Like most makers in Australia, John has encountered difficulties in acquiring suitable materials locally from which to manufacture knives. Consequently, like a number of his colleagues, he imports steel and handle materials direct from overseas. He's a caring maker who harbours a curious philosophy regarding his bench-made knives. I don't like to think of my knives being used after spending so many hours of creating a thing of beauty. I like to think it will be cherished and cared for by its new owner, in the hope it may not be an heirloom in the future, long after I am gone. At least now I can be satisfied to know I will leave a small mark on the world. Perhaps he has provided us with some insight into his motivation, given that the custom-made knives of our ancestors were created for the noblest reasons. There you go. A little bit about John Jones. There's some of his work. Probably can't see it, but yeah, there you go. Some nice drop point hunters and things. It's not actually a drop point there, so there you go. I made that bit up. All right. Wait, Matt, go. I bought a knife from a guy from Victoria. Here we go. There's a question here from Matt Snape. It says, I bought a knife about 20 years ago from a guy from Victoria. I think his name was Lance Davidson or something similar. Does anyone know this maker? Unfortunately, the knife was stolen during a break-in in 2002, so I don't have it to refer to anymore. I'll look that up for you now if you like, mate. While Kev's on the toilet or whatever he's doing. Mert, you ever heard of him?
No, man. Way before my time.
Before me too. Deering, Dean, Darcy. Yeah, well, he's not in the 1991 edition, but there again, you said 2090, 20, I don't know. Wait up. Custom knife, second edition. Let's see. Yep, what do you got?
Me?
Yep.
Quick question. The maker who sold the highest amount, is he an active maker? Is he retired?
He had retired, but he started making again. We've had some knives come through for heat treatment. So, so yeah, Kev has vanished. So yeah, but we had some of his knives come through for heat treating, and I was a little bit blown away that he's back in the game basically. So very keen to get to meet him and you know, see what he's doing.
Nice.
Nice indeed. No, there's no one here, Davidson, so you've probably got the name wrong. Something. Lance. Probably someone called Lance. He's a cool guy, says Dave Winch, referring to the guy. Apparently, the knife in question, or the blade in question, was a takedown sword. I don't even know what a takedown sword is, but apparently it was freaking amazing. I've heard stories. So, what's up with you? What are you up to next, Mert? What are you going to work on?
Tomorrow's Friday. It's going to be Hangover Friday. And as soon as I get my shit together, I'll be finishing a few knives. And yeah, just need to finish a couple knives so I don't feel like I haven't done anything for this week. But I'm really looking forward to finish the sword. Usually I don't play with things in the shed per se. Like I come in, do my thing, do my work, and go next project. Just prep for the next project. Just prep for the next work. But I'm really excited to make something that's way out of my comfort zone, and because I feel like I'm doing this. If I'm making just a stick in the kitchen knives, I'm making something same, and I'm not challenging myself. That was the same thing with making those Quillian daggers. Sometimes you need to make something just to be able to challenge yourself and just do something for fun.
No, that's fair enough. That's the only reason I make barrel knives still. I'm still trying to make a good one.
Barrel knife?
Yeah, just like
still trying to make a good one. Yeah, that's all right. Look at that.
Hear that?
Yeah.
Oh,
you know those videos of
sound of that click.
You know those videos Corin keeps posting up? Oh,
yeah.
I've got a clicky barrel knife too.
Yeah, that's what you should.
Mine's got that blade on that end and the other blade on the other end. Look at that. Two-bladed barrel knife, folks.
Did that small one just spin right around?
I know mine's not in Blade magazine, but far out.
Did that little one just spin right around?
No.
It looked like it.
I made it spin right around.
Oh.
Well, but it's a big fucker, though.
Oh, it is a big fucker. Yeah.
Look at the fucking size.
I've got three
down.
It's
not a small barrel knife.
I've got three down.
Literally a fucking barrel knife.
Yeah, it's like a 44-gallon fucking drum knife.
Yeah.
I put three of my knives in a parcel and shipped them to Victoria last week, which was ass clenching for me. I have to get them engraved.
For
They
some
all need
photos.
maker's mark. They're all going to Danae to get engraved.
Ah, right. Very nice.
Yeah,
How's Danae going? Is she good?
Yeah, she's golden. She's all right.
Nice.
She's getting her shit together again. She's not working at the moment. She's not engraving at the moment, but she's offered to do it for me, and I wasn't going to turn her down because she's awesome.
Nah, that's it. She's a good lady.
So yeah, I haven't seen her for ages.
So did we answer the question that's on the thing there from Blair?
Which one?
Who
Blair
has the record sales figure then?
Yeah, we will.
Oh, I was just checking it. I disappeared. I had to go and quickly sort some shit out. My son got his car serviced today, and we were just making sure that he didn't get fucking too far ass raped by the BMW service guys with his little Mini that he got serviced. So, but it appears that he just got standard sort of fucking charges, bastards.
Standard raping. Yeah. So the person in question, as far as I'm aware, and I'm happy to be corrected, but the person in question is a guy by the name of Paul Maffey. And I'm really keen to meet him. So we might get him on the show. I'm gonna try and get him on the show and see how that goes. None of us have met him. None of us have ever talked to him. I've heard that he's a cool guy. Dave Wench says he's a cool guy, so that's cool. He must be a cool guy. So we're going to try and get him on the show because on account of that, it'll be really good. So he can tell us a little bit about the history of knife making in Australia, and he can tell us all how much he sold his takedown sword for. But it was in the vicinity of $45,000. So yeah, there you go.
So Matt Snape just wrote on that he's picking up a mill tomorrow.
Nice. Let's talk about mills. Where to get one, eh?
Yeah,
There's
well,
raffle.
And end of financial year, man. I was thinking about it, but I don't know in a fucking room.
you don't have any room for a mill. You need to extend your fucking shed, mate.
Look, put everything on pallets.
That's in the works.
We could reorganise your workshop to fit a mill in, I guarantee you. If you were to get a mill, we would fit it in there. Now,
hang on. You just said like my shed is full of shit. That's what you implied.
Who said that?
No, we said you're full of shit. It's different.
Yeah. There's a question for you. Mert.
It says,
"You want to make a scabbard for the sword?" Yes, I will.
And there's a question here for me. What's the temper cycle for Dharma steel springs in your barrel knives, Corin? I heat treat them as normal for Dharma steel, then temper at 605 Celsius. Yeah. I don't know if you can probably use 600, but I use 605 because Alistair Phillips told me to. It's good enough.
Unless it's a student's spring, and then he heat treats it like shit so it melts away, tempers it like crap so it doesn't spring, and then you have to spend 2 hours cleaning it. Hey, I'm not bitter, all right? I'm not bitter.
But Kev, we tried.
We tried. We learned a lesson. We did. We learned a valuable lesson.
I went to IKEA. I went to IKEA the other day, and they had a little 2 AA battery milk whisk. I bought it for that.
Nice. I'm using a manual fucking egg whisk.
Well, this 2 AA battery one, if you stick it in too hard, it just stops because that stuff's, how it goes all gooey. Yeah.
So what we're talking about here is when I went up to Corin's and we were doing the barrel knife stuff, we didn't stir the anti-scaling compound enough when we put it on. We were lazy. We really fucking were.
I literally stuck my finger on and smeared it. I didn't do anything else.
It didn't stick properly, and we stuck the blade in. We stuck the spring in and the blade into heat treat, and they came out with one of those like gut churning moments, like,
oh
fuck, just fuck this. But we recovered. That's when I taught Corin a bit about his disc, and it's a life lesson for that anti-scale compound is stir the absolute shit out of it. When you think you've stirred it enough, you haven't, stir it some more. It's like Damascus steel. When you think your billet's hot enough, it's not. Let it heat up some more, then squash it. So stir the shit out of your anti-scaling, heat the shit out of your fucking Damascus.
It's more like Mert. Stir the shit out of him, and when you think you've stirred him enough, you stir him some more.
Yeah. And Jamie Bishop, you can go and eat a pork hock and stick the bone where it fits because your spring is crispy. Good on you.
So this Facebook user says, if only I had the funds for a mill. Well, the funds for a mill very soon might be just a raffle ticket. The Knife Art Association, in their effort to try and recover a massive amount of money that's been lost to this year with the shows not being able to go ahead, are running a lot of raffles. And I have it on good authority, Kev, that very soon there may be a milling machine going up on a raffle.
Let's just say this is rumor at the moment and potentially a little speculation, but
it's hearsay. You heard it, and I said
it's hearsay. The last raffle that we had for machinery, which had the grinder and a few other bits and pieces, the 84 engineering grinder and a few other bits and pieces in it. What was that? The grinder, the anvil, and the creative band jig, correct?
Yep.
That raffle blew us away. In terms of the Knife Art Association, we sold out of tickets
in 3 days,
way faster than we thought possible.
Unbelievable.
It was so well received.
I thought it was shorter than that.
It was less than that. It was a couple of days, and it blew the minds of everyone. So we've had a big talk. The Knife Art Association have had a big talk about, the impact that we're doing or that we're having by running these raffles. For us as an association, it gives us some money in the bank to, as a buffer to continue to keep our employee employed and keep shows on the cards for when this COVID bullshit disappears. So we've got money there ready to advertise and get people on the ground and get shows running and people happy. The other thing is, like I said, with that success of that first machinery raffle, we have had a few big talks about this now. And we're not going to move away entirely from supporting makers and raffling knives for people, but most people would be happy to spend a couple of bucks for a chance to win some big machinery. And we're not going to go into specifics. A milling machine has been touted by Corin. I'm not going to say whether it's true or not true.
Sorry, Mr. President.
But if you thought, no, that's cool. There could be a milling machine as first prize in the next raffle. There could be a milling machine. How cool would that be if you're a Mert and you don't have room, and then all of a sudden you buy a ticket and you win a milling machine and we have to make room? Yeah. But if you thought the last machinery raffle run by the Knife Art Association was big, oh boy, hold your breath. There's more coming. Stan Stanley, how many more raffles will there be? We are planning on doing regular raffles. We're planning on doing regular raffles, and we're trying to keep, like I said, support some of the local knife makers in getting out their products to people. The Knife Art Association will buy their products and we'll raffle them off to people. And the other thing, like I said, the enticing thing for people is we'll run the raffles for machinery. We're as makers, we're bumping our heads together going, what are the things in these conversations we have tonight with you guys, our listeners? What are you guys always asking for? Milling machines, disc sanders, band saws, drill presses, that sort of shit.
Mail order brides.
We can't do the mail order brides. We're not guaranteeing delivery time. They're probably going to be deflated by the time they get here, but we can look at other stuff. So we're putting together some raffles that are going to be pretty fucking enticing for you guys to be a part of. And like I said, we're trying to get out there to you guys to give you guys a good chance to get something good. We're trying to support the industry so that when we're back on the ground, we're not stagnant, we're not broke, and we can then pump that money into getting people into coming and looking after us and buying our products and supporting our industry as we were doing leading up to this silly season that we're going through at the moment. But we're looking at bigger and better and bigger and better, and I think we're gonna the next one's worth keeping your eyes out for. For the WA guys, I just saw there for the WA guys.
It's all sorted. It's all
Is
sorted.
it sorted? Is it?
Yeah, we've got our permits there. The only place where we have issues with permits now is Canberra. It's $220 for a permit to raffle in Canberra.
I know, man. It's crazy, and that's where I am.
Ridiculous.
And we need
But it's
that
all right.
permit because we've got good base of knife makers in Canberra. We need to give everyone the opportunity. So WA is sorted. That's great. I didn't realise that.
What Kev may not know is that there's actually 3 raffles in the works, and there's been another grinder donated. So that'll be coming up. Stay tuned.
I know everything, sort of.
Metal bandsaw. Look at that. Yeah. Stay tuned. Stay tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned.
So we've asked that a raffle run every week at the moment. We don't have anything else to do, so Andrew's on that now. Yeah. He does have other things to do, of course, but yeah, main thing is to get some income coming in, and all of the money obviously that's raised goes to the Knife Art Association, the biggest not-for-profit promotional knife association in Australia. That runs just about all of the shows,
just under the comment from Brett, trying to pop up the one from Stan Stanley.
It's coming. No, this is coming. There's a kiln being. It's very likely going to be a kiln.
Go 2 up from that to Stan's previous one.
Maybe more tickets in the future.
Yes,
we're limited depending on the state. We're not allowed to make a certain percentage more than the retail value of the prizes. Yeah. So that's really good for the people buying the tickets because it means there's less tickets and more chance of winning. So
we're looking at a happy medium where we've got to satisfy the legislation and rules regarding raffling, as Cora's just said, and we're also looking at it that we don't saturate, put up a really awesome looking prize and go, like those freaking cars you go down to for the Cancer Council or whatever it is. Yeah. You go to the shopping centre and there's a BMW and they say, buy a ticket, you've got a chance at winning, and they're selling 800,000 tickets. No, we're not going to do that. We're going to make it so that you've got a reasonable chance and a good chance of getting in for one of these prizes. And for us, like I said, as the Knife Art Association, smaller ticket numbers mean we've just got to run more raffles. So for you guys, that's going to be better in your interests. The kiln could be on the cards. We're doing our best to get good deals with all of our...
The kiln's very likely on the cards. I'm pretty sure I can make that happen.
Yeah, we're working hard with our vendors and stuff to try and get the interest there and the enthusiasm there and a good price again for us because, we're a not-for-profit organisation, but that doesn't mean, we can't, we're not about raising money. We're about raising money so that we can then put it back into the interests of the knife makers, which is, like I said, sponsoring shows, running shows. We've plugged so much fucking money into that shit. It's not funny. It's really not funny. It's kind of scary how much money we put into advertising shows.
Oh, fuck, ridiculous. But that's how you get people to come to shows. That's why we get so many people. You don't get people to come to shows by putting on a great show. You get them by putting on you get them to come back by putting on a great show. But you don't. Yeah, look at this. This is what I'm doing as we speak. Look, you're going to hear my key taps for a minute. Todd Lockash, kiln for not-for-profit fundraiser. There we go. He's the CEO of the Paradigm.
Yeah, Todd's a good bloke.
Here first.
Todd's a good bloke. We've met him. We've had drinks with him over in the US. Todd, if you're listening, you're a really good bloke, mate. Todd, you're a really good bloke, mate.
We want a free kiln, Toddy. You can do it.
Come on. Well, it's not free. It's a kiln for charity.
No.
Nah, it's not charity. It's a not-for-profit fundraising thing to benefit his industry anyway, which is good.
Yep.
Yeah, don't worry.
Keep your eyes out, guys, for the next raffle that we're having. And I'm pretty sure no one's going to be disappointed with the prizes that are going to be up for offer. A couple of bucks to get in for a chance. Tickets are limited, so it's not a free-for-all, but get in there and have a crack. Help out the industry that's going to help you guys out as well. That's as simple as that. Who else we got? Stan's actually... Geez, Stan, you're on fire tonight, mate. Go down to the bottom comment from Stan, which is maybe some classes as prizes. Now, we've talked about this one at a considerable length. There's some logistical issues to work through regarding offering classes as prizes. We've got to do a little bit of work on that one. And as you can imagine, there's a number of guys that are pretty well established in the teaching game in knife making, and there's a number of guys that are new. There's a number of guys that are emerging in the teaching game. So, we've got to be pretty careful about how we approach classes as raffle prizes too. And for me, it's just as one example, I'm booked out most of the time. I've got a 3-month waiting list. So offering prizes is sometimes a bit difficult for that sort of thing. But, we'll see what we can do.
Don't mind me, I'm typing to Todd now. I forgot to do this.
Why not do it now? He's probably awake. And if he's not awake, he should have alerts on for emails from Corin.
You'll be awake in an hour or so anyway. He should be there.
Matt Snape, can we pre-advise when raffles will be up? Go on to the Knife Art Association page.
Yeah, the Sydney Knife Show, the
Sydney Knife Show page.
Comment on those pages so that Facebook you follow everything that happens on those pages. You're helping us by doing that, and you'll see them first. Yes.
Yep. Put it on notifications to get notifications from one of those pages, and you will find out about the raffles. We do this recording once a week, and sometimes like the last time. We'd recorded the podcast and the raffle came up and it sold out in 3 days. The raffle is run through a separate organisation on behalf of the Knife Art Association. So even people like myself can buy tickets, and I missed out on buying a ticket myself. Like, I was overwhelmed personally about how fast they sold out. We love that support, but that's what we're looking at. Happy medium between enough tickets to satisfy most people, not too many tickets to piss people off. Timing of things, we can't help it. If people buy tickets, crazy fucking quantities at light speed, we're happy with that. Sorry, man. A garden shed as a prize. Don't know about a garden shed as a prize.
You're dreaming. You're fucking dreaming.
Yeah, nah.
Yeah, nah.
Well, tickets to the symposium. Look, you know what? That's probably not a bad idea. We could probably do a raffle for tickets to the symposium through the Knife Art Association. That's something we'll take on board. That's from Blair, mate. We'll look at that. Thank you. That's not a bad idea.
It's my battery in my phone might die anytime soon. Down to 5%.
Pretty good new battery or a charger.
Yeah. Matt, you've asked how are classes any different to makers' knives? As we said, there's a limited number of classes out there that are being run that have that, known reputation, that known stuff with the teachers that have, I guess, proven themselves, for want of a better term, to run these classes. And as I said, most of us guys running these classes at the moment, we're months out in advance. And it's sometimes difficult to manage the expectations of someone that wins a prize. They win a prize to do a class, they ring up the person and say, I've won this prize to do a class, can I get in next week? And when you tell them they're 3.5 month, 4 month wait, that stuff, sometimes disappoints people. It's a logistics issue that we'll work through. Don't write anything off yet, and don't, rain on the parade so far yet with that sort of stuff. We're looking at what we can do for makers. I'd love to do it. I'd love to hold a prize position for a class member, as would most of the people running knife courses, I'd imagine. But, we'll have to have a look at that. Yes. Notifications are good. Turn your notifications on to the Knife Art Association or the Sydney Knife Show page and you'll find out about everything that's going on with the raffles.
Yep.
Yeah. Anything else, Mert? What have you got else while Corin's emailing Todd to get us a kiln?
Here we go. That's all right. It's good. I've sent him an email. Hi, Todd. The Knife Art Association that runs all the shows down here is running a bunch of raffles to recover a lot of money that's been lost to the COVID shutdowns. Yep, cool. Here we go. I'll get this underway.
Now,
it's all done.
If you don't want to wait and you don't want to have to buy a ticket to run a chance at getting a beautiful Paragon kiln, I believe that our sponsor, Gamaco, at the moment are running a group buy on kilns. Is that still running? I'm pretty sure it hasn't shut off yet. So it's still running. Go onto the Gamaco group buys page on Facebook.
There's actually going to be two shipments, right? So we couldn't get them all into one shipment because of the way things are at the moment. So we've got a shipment that's leaving at the end of this month, which I think is all pre-sold now. And then there'll be another shipment leaving in July, at the end of July. So that'll be in another 8 weeks. So yeah, you get onto those and yeah, this kiln's coming in. Get onto the bulk buy group on Facebook, Gamaco Bulk Buys. It's the best way to stay attuned to what's happening in the bulk market. Like that's the way we basically bring in new things and cheaper things. Like anyone that's been in that group will have seen some of the things we like. One time we were able to bring in 40 God, chewing on my own puke. 40 hardness testers. Oh, I wash it down with some whiskey, but
Bit
I'm
of
not
bile.
Yeah, 40 hardness testers in one go, and it was just like a wicked saving for everyone. And 1084s coming in. We've got a bulk buy on 1084 that'll be released soon. So, and you just will not get better prices. Last time the 1084 was $120 a sheet, including GST, and I mean you just can't beat that. You just can't beat that. So yeah, stay tuned, and it's all the top quality stuff. You know, we don't bring in. I often say to the guys, we don't bring in cheap steel so you can make cheap knives. That's not what we're about. We don't want to do it. I don't bring steel in from anywhere that's not a highly reputable mill.
And it's also where, like Cole seems to be the dude that's running it, Cole Barrett. Cole will put out the feelers to people as well. He said, what do you want next? What are you guys after? And then you get a chance to put your voice in, like, you know, if you want a particular sort of steel, you get to voice that and get, you know, good prices, like Corin was saying, power in numbers, good prices for buying good quality products.
Yeah. The bulk buy has been my thing for a very long time. So mainly I run them when I want something. So the secret to getting me to run a bulk buy is to convince me I need it.
Find something Corin doesn't have that he wants, convince him he wants it, and then you get on board with him. Brett Selly's asked, did Corin say a hardness tester in a raffle?
Oh, we probably could. I just got a shipment in.
Yeah.
I don't know. All things are possible. Hardness test is probably a bit obscure for most people, but then again, it's the kind of thing people would enter a raffle for because not everyone wants to fork out a couple of grand for a hardness tester. But I'd throw $20 in the kitty to see if I could win one.
Why not?
Yeah.
Well, you're in with the chance with these things. That's the whole thing. Two tickets.
They just did one on hardness testers, and there may be spares. Contact Cole. Jay says do hardness testers again.
They were posting them out from the last stuff that I read, or getting ready to ship them out.
So this one is Anthony Kittle. The bulk buy's got me a hardness tester, Paragon Pro, Jet bandsaw. Keep up the good work. I've got to say the bulk buys have. I mean, how many bulk buys do you reckon I've run over the last 8 years?
Well, it's how basically Gamaco's knife making stuff occurred from the start, isn't it? Everything. Yeah.
So everything. I mean, there's so many. They got Anyway, never mind. Super keen on 1084. Yeah. Yeah, 1084 is hard to get, but there's some big shipments coming in, and again, ours is all from Germany. We enjoy it. I think wire end. I think that if I was Barry Kennedy, I would have written wire EDM, but wire end could be an autocorrect note. Fuck,
Yeah,
I'd
it
love on the
probably
road.
is.
I bought an EDM once. Did I ever tell you the story about buying the EDM?
Yes. Tell everyone else though, because it's funny.
The things you find on eBay. Yeah, I was on eBay and I was like, wow, there's an EDM machine and a surface grinder going for a couple of bucks. So I thought, oh, I'll bid on that. And so I bid on it and bid on it and bid on it, and then I won it for $700. And I sent a crane truck to go and get it. The guy picking it up said, have you seen these machines? I said, no. He said, oh yeah, you bought them sight unseen. Oh, well, I'm here to pick them up. You'll pay me? Yeah, I'll pay you. So he brings them back, and the surface grinder had been dropped, and it was all smashed at the front. And the main drive nut was stuffed, and the EDM machine, the wiring had been disconnected with a hacksaw, and it wasn't a wire EDM, it was a plunge EDM. And yeah, so basically I spent the next 6 weeks rebuilding the surface grinder to make that work, and I sold the EDM machine to someone else and got rid of it. But I made my money back on the whole job. The guy who bought the EDM machine bought it off me for $1,000, so it's pretty good. Flipped it good.
Someone's asked, Dave Winch is asking, what is EDM?
What EDM? EDM, it's electro discharge machining. It's where you use a spark to erode metal, and it's fucking awesome. It's fucking awesome. That's what they
So a
use.
lot of the canister Damascus stuff, like when you see like the images of the deers and ducks and shit like that, that's how people do it with the EDM, wire EDM.
Yeah, one of the places that we visited in Japan, Corin, one of the knife making places, had the technology there. They were using the wire EDM to cut out their blanks, I believe it was, which was pretty full on. That was the M Custa.
In Custer, yeah.
Yeah,
They had some gear there. And if you look at those mosaic pins where they've got like a deer or something, deer's head in them, they're all done with wire EDM. You can cut like 0.2 of a mil slot in any shape through up to 70 mil thick material. They're phenomenal piece of gear. Love one, but yeah, I don't think I can afford one. So yeah,
no. And in the stuff that I was doing today, I mentioned earlier today that I kind of a day away from the workshop because I had a builder friend putting up a big screen for me that had those laser cut or water jet cut, plasma cut pattern screens, metal screens.
Yeah.
And I had a neighbour walk past and they were like, oh, that looks great. Do you make these? Because I've got my big Kev's Forge car out the front. And I'm like, nah, I'll buy these from Bunnings. And then we were talking about it with my mate going, I'd really love to get a plasma cutter, but my wife can't see me spending $30,000 and taking up the whole garage with it.
See, all of our steel we cut by water jet. You can get a guillotine, but it's shit. It's not a good way to cut steel. It's cheap as chips. But getting it water jet cut doesn't leave a heat affected zone. It doesn't twist or warp it. It's perfect. So we said, well, we'll buy our own water jet machine. Holy fuck. Yeah, I don't have that much money. It'd probably pay for itself. But
it would eventually, but and then you need a place to put it as well.
You can get one from China for 30 grand, but the proper ones are well over 100 grand. And like you said, you've still got to build somewhere to put it and feed it with water and do all the things you've got to do. So I don't think we'll be doing that anytime soon. I'd like to. Would be good. Water jet cutter bolt.
Dave was saying that he actually laughing, saying he knows what it is, but was laughing for what price. Yeah, too expensive, Dave. Too expensive, mate. Desktop water jets are on the way. There's one out there already called the Wazer, which is the water jet laser. But when you look at the consumables and the cost and the time to run it, definitely not worth it at the moment. There's got to be a long way to go to get let's say a water jet cutter about the size of a snooker table. That's still going to be good value to run efficiently, because you've got to remember that you've got to put garnet or whatever consumables into these things. They run exceedingly high pressures, so 60,000 psi.
You've got to get rid of the garnet as well.
And you've got to get rid of it.
The biggest expense, they reckon, is not the buying of the garnet, it's the disposal of the used garnet. It's a real,
What do you
real
do?
issue.
You take it down to the local bloody sand and gravel place and try and flog it off to them for nothing. Mix this in with your road base, mate, because you can't reuse it. And
Yeah,
or
we
they
need
haven't found an efficient way of sifting it to reuse it. It's fucked. Once it's done, it's done.
So the one, so we'd be looking for a 1.2 by 2.4 meter machine, something like 2.4 by 1.2, because we've got to cut sheets, you know. Desktop would be no good for us.
No.
Anyway,
And I dream about it. There's a few machines for you and a few of those other guys every now and then bring up water jet cutters, and you're like, oh, yeah. But the people who are selling them aren't going that broke yet. They're not giving them away.
And I don't want to get something like that secondhand because I just don't know enough about fucking.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm just going to end up with something I can't use for a lot of money.
Well, that's it. You end up, you buy the lemon or the one that's already written off.
Yeah. But one day the industry's growing out here. It's not that far away. I don't reckon that owning a water jet will be a realistic proposition.
Well, look, the other thing is like the plasma cutters. For the smaller plasma cutters, you know, they're probably not the size for hobbyists, but they're getting into the small production stuff. The technology on those now is really good, and the prices, like, we're still talking $20,000.
Yeah,
I'm a full-time knife maker, so that's like 15 years of work.
But the other thing, there's not a whole lot wrong with plasma for a knife maker. We know that because Star Valley Forge specialise in it, but
especially for carbon steels.
For carbon steels, but for me as a steel merchant, I don't want to supply any steel that's got a heat affected zone, and that's it. I just don't want to do it. And you know, guys like Tharwa, they don't mind because you know they're going to forge their stock, and if they're selling to people, people expect that it's going to have that because they know it's a bit cheaper. But you know, like I said, we don't sell cheap steel, so you can make cheap knives. I've got the best stuff, so you can make the best knives. That's what we want to do. I don't want to be anything else. You know, anybody can be cheap, and I don't want to be that. I want to be the quality. Yeah. Matt Snake reckons you can get a plasma for under 10 grand now, so there you go.
Yeah, what size though, Matt? That's what we're talking about. It's got to be a usable size. You know, fair enough. If you wanted $10,000, that's a lot of knife blanks to cut out for people.
Yeah.
So we had a Facebook user ask if we've already talked about Mert's crazy sword already.
We did.
You can see Mert's worn out. He's already talked about his sword.
What's your Instagram, Mert, so people can have a look at your?
It is Tansu. It's TANSU Tansu _knives on Instagram.
Tansu _knives.
Yeah. Just my side.
We also talked about me being in Blade magazine, so you can go back and listen to that as well.
Oh yeah, my phone is dying. I'm out, guys.
Yeah, my internet it dying.
Can't.
Just remember, people, that's the sound of a barrel knife closing.
There you go.
Oh, do it again.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's like music.
And I'll give you a little bit of critique if you like.
Well, it's not bad for a couple of days' work.
You've done well. I couldn't do it in a couple of days. So
we did some techniques, obviously, that differed greatly from what you were showing me.
Look at the top.
That's where the time.
Just a minute. This guy here. Look up the top of the post, and it's in the post, in the comments, not in the comments, in the description on the post above. Anyway, keep going, Kev. What you saying?
Nothing. I was just talking about my barrel knives haven't been in Blade magazine yet.
No, yeah. I'll give you a hand with them, and we'll get
all I've got to do is make 3 of them in 1 year, and go to Blade Show and say, I'm the highest producing barrel knife maker in Australia.
Yeah, and I'll say it's quality, not quantity, and we'll have this discussion.
Mine will be quality, I can tell you. Because I'm going to come up. I know where your drawers are with all your fucking offcuts of shit that's good to use. I'll be like, hey, Corin, what's that over there? Open up drawers, stuff in your pockets. You know, you should get one of those metal detectors to scan people when they leave your workshop.
I don't have anything else I can do. I don't even know where my own silver's kept these days. Anyway.
Jay Cross, thanks, mate. It may be like music, but it's loud as shit in my headphones.
There you go.
That's the
There you
sign
go.
of good barrel mod.
You've been told, Kev. You've been told. All right. Have we got anything else to talk about that's worthwhile? Because Mert's fallen asleep there, and I have to edit out the sound of him yawning.
No, leave it in there. Well,
he's gone.
I'm pretty sure somewhere on the promotion for tonight's pubcast that there was an inclusion in there that was a promise made.
Oh, a promise made. Yes, that was made last week. Everybody that
swipe
listened
up,
to last week.
swipe up for the premium content includes fucking lullabies and for some shit, whatever you promised, you dickhead, Corin.
I didn't. You promised last week. Anybody who listened to the end of last week's episode heard you promise that you were going to do it this week.
Don't remember.
This is going to come up in your performance review, Mert.
Yeah, awkward silence.
Awkward silence. No lullaby. All right. All right, everyone. Well, in the absence of Mert's lullaby, who doesn't clearly need one anyway because he's fallen asleep in his own podcast.
Be a cabbage. Please don't be a cabbage kid. That's a new lullaby I'm working on. Maybe I'll finish this next week. How about that?
Is that for your kids?
You said there was a guitar solo and 4-part harmony
I
and
said
stuff like that.
I love you, my daughter, but never mind.
Mert, the girls are asking for more.
Please don't be a cabbage patch kid.
Cabbage patch kid.
Don't call me cabbage.
Anyway, so for those that didn't notice and tuned in late, I'm wearing the official Knife Making Down Under merchandise. We've got the Knife Making Down Under hoodie on account of I didn't get many of them made, and we've got the Knife Making Down Under t-shirts as well, which are now available. And everyone that pre-ordered, they started shipping them today, and the rest should go out over the next couple of days. There's quite a few.
They are seriously sexy t-shirts.
Do you want me to model one again? I'll stand up again.
Yeah. Turn around.
Yeah.
For those people that can't see what's going on, Corin's just turning around. Oh my God! Look at that.
Oh.
Knife Making Down Under. There's lightning bolts. Corin running away to the other end of the room. Lightning bolts. There's a Mert Tansu knife, I believe, on the back of that, a Damasteel blade.
Damascus.
Sexy. Damascus. And then we also have the Tools Who Make Tools t-shirt, which is pretty freaking cool as well.
So they're all available on the Gamaco website.
Yeah, there'll be some up available for people. Those that pre-purchased, you've got your orders going out in the next few days. Thank you very much for supporting us. You'll have some very exclusive merch. We're all about the merch. Wear it with pride. Jamie's got half a chubby over that.
How do I get a hoodie? Bolt buy. You ask us enough and tell us how much you want a hoodie and how many of you want a hoodie, and we will get hoodies printed with the pattern of our choice or your choice.
They're a great hoodie. I've got to say they're a great hoodie from the manufacturer. Get in there. Send us a message up on the web page.
Hoodies probably be about $50 each or something. I don't know, I haven't worked that out, but they'll be about $50 each. I think.
50 to 60, somewhere in that range.
Yeah, I haven't worked it out yet, but they're pretty reasonable. Everyone wants a hoodie. Yep.
Yeah,
yes,
we're getting those people.
Everyone wants hoodies.
Well, next week, we'll all be sporting us presenters will be sporting our Knife Making Down Under hoodies, and you can see just how good they look and confirm that, and then we'll probably look at doing a group buy order. They look comfy. It looks
they
comfy.
are. I'm sitting here in my shed. I don't have the air conditioning on today, just as an experiment to see if these hoodies are any good. It's a test of the hoodie, and it's working just fine. I don't know. It's not as good as Mert's porn star fucking dressing gown.
We're not doing group buys on them. We can't afford them. We can't afford the mink.
Oh, there you go. He's looking at me angry again. Just for something different. All right, guys. Take care.
Yeah, thanks everyone.
Thanks for listening.
Go
to our favorite podcast platforms. Click like, click subscribe. Give us a rating, even if it's shit. Nah, make it good. Come on. We feel this too. Come on.
You won't be the first that's given us a shit one, but anyway.
Nah, won't be the last either. Thanks, Julianne. Thanks to your mum for listening in too.
Thanks, everybody.
Apologise to her, please, for Kev's language.
Tell her we're just rambunctious young lads that can't control ourselves.
It's Kevin's language. All right, guys. Well, it's probably the least professional podcast out there, but I'm quite proud of it.
Least professional, most entertaining.
And Mert's off the bed.
Definitely.
All right, we've stopped recording, Mert. You can sing now.
Righto, we're off air, Mert. Start singing.
Yeah, start singing.
Yeah, start singing. Yeah, good trick. It says live 141, still counting. You cabbage. I'm sleepy, not that sleepy.
Yeah.
He's drunk, but not that drunk.
He's drunk, but not that drunk.
I'm going to start drinking again soon. I've gone. This is my second
killing me.
Second episode without a fucking drink, so it's getting a bit rough.
We're like that, mate.
No. I was drinking half a bottle of whiskey every night for a bit there. I just thought maybe I better stop.
Yeah, Friday mornings are a little bit rough. Let's just say that.
Yeah,
it wasn't just Friday.
Friday's been less productive. Good. I'm like, oh shit, let me just grind the blade. Yeah, fuck, I'm hangover.
Yeah.
All right, enough of us. Let's get out.
They want us to do live demos. That'd be fucking awesome. We should do that.
You know what I was thinking, Corin?
We could do a live hand sanding demo. 2 hours of hand sanding. We put the camera on it.
Is it? Nah, I'm sorry. That's already covered by Richard Morgan.
Oh, really?
Ooh, Richard. Ooh.
What's your idea, Mert?
He does a few live feeds where he just hand sands, and I get on there and stir the shit out of him.
Sorry, what I was thinking was, I said it in our group chat, maybe we can cover some of the subjects we all covered during the symposium, but only do like a 20-minute section.
Yeah.
Well, so a class class you done, like it'll be like this week's
barrel
technical stuff. Yeah. No, not that.
He's already we said 20 minutes, not fucking 20 fucking repetitious fucking hours of shit. Come on.
No, that's a good idea, Mert. That's a good idea. I've done mine because I did steel, and that's one of mine that I do quite regularly when I do knife making materials.
Yeah, I can talk about like stainless.
You got it, Jay.
But Kev, if you want to do like a forging video, like 20 minutes just to forge a blade, fuck it, do it, man.
Yeah, I'll take the laptop out. I'll take the laptop out and do it. My neighbours might not like me if I'm doing a live feed forging demo at fucking 9 o'clock at night, though.
Or what you can do is, Corin, is there a way that he can record it and we can show it during the, like he'll send it the video to you so you can play it on the thing and he can talk about what's he doing.
Yeah, we can do that.
We can do anything.
Yeah, look at a fucking genius, motherfucker.
Bitches, we're fucking all over technology. Oh
yeah, bro.
Yeah,
bro.
Look at us. Hey, g'day, Connie. How you going, mate?
Yeah, good to see you, man.
Happy birthday to your young one.
You haven't turned off, Conk.
Yeah, we haven't turned off. Oh, sorry, I should have done that. See you.
Using a disc sander. We'll do that, mate. No worries.
Yeah, we'll do. See you, everyone. Bye.